Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I begin today by acknowledging the Kaurna people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands of those joining us online and all the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people participating in this meeting. I pay my respects to elders past and present and acknowledge the continuation of cultural, spiritual and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Welcome everyone to Bedford's Annual Stakeholder Meeting. It's so good to have you back in person after 2 years of COVID's interruptions. I'd also like to welcome those of us joining via Teams or who are watching this afterwards, as we are recording at the moment, and particularly those from our regional sites who can join us via this way. We have received apologies today from a few people. Tom Duday, one of our valued ambassadors, has sent his apologies, as has Diane Lepore from the Bedford Women's Auxiliary. Former Chair Ray Grigg and Board Member Stephen Haynes have also sent their apologies, as have the Honorary Life members Andrew Black, Colin Dunsford, Maureen O'Connell, Henry O'Connor and Thelma Pye. We did have a board meeting earlier which was well attended, but unfortunately some of our board members have not been able to stay around. So we also have apologies from Jason, Matthew, Erin and Janet. We've received positive feedback from the videos that we produced for the last 2 years, and as such, we didn't want to abandon that completely. So, using modern technology, we will now hear from Bedford Chair, Richard Hockney.
Hello to the Bedford family. This year provided Bedford an opportunity to revisit our purpose, mission, values and beliefs. Disability has been very much in the news this year, and the world of disability employment is changing. I am happy to present you with Bedford's refined purpose. This process embedded for all of us at Bedford that we exist to support people with disability to live the life they choose. Despite the easing of COVID restrictions and a return to a more harmonious work and life balance in South Australia, it was a tough year for many industries and disability providers. Our commercial operations like APG, manufacturing and packaging and the regional enterprises still delivered fantastic outcomes, but were often affected by soaring freight costs, delays and supply chain issues. The total income for the financial year was just under $82 million, which represented a 3.6% increase. However, ultimately returning a net loss of $6.6 million. This loss was due to these external issues that I've just mentioned, as well as our investment in the transformation of our operations, including our new commercial kitchen at Brooklyn Park, upgrading plant and equipment, and expanding day options at Panorama. Despite the loss, Bedford was cash positive for the year due to careful cash flow management. However, this is not a sustainable position. And this led to the Bedford board and executive team agreeing to a new 5-year strategic plan in June this year. The new plan places our 2,100 employees, clients and staff at the centre of who we are and why we exist as an organisation. Myron will provide more information about our investment into the future. We also participated in public hearing 22 of the Disability Royal Commission, continue to work with the Fair Work Commission on their review of Supported Employment Services Award, and have liaised with the NDIS, DSS and many others in government. With the announcement of the imminent closure of Australia's 3rd largest disability employer in Western Australia, we have to invest in our future to make sure people with intellectual disability have a voice in the larger debate and have a choice of a job in the future. 2022 saw a change of CEOs, and I thank Maggie Dowling for her tireless work, dedication, passion and commitment over the past 4 years. I also welcome Myron Mann, and on behalf of the board, we look forward to Myron and the executive team implementing Bedford's new strategic plan. I would also like to acknowledge Greg Connor, who is retiring from the board this year. Greg has served on the Bedford board for over 15 years, including serving as Deputy Chair and Chair of Audit and Risk Management Committee. I thank Greg for his outstanding commitment, excellent counsel and unwavering desire to position Bedford for the future. Finally, I would like to thank our employees, clients, staff, executive team, senior leaders, ambassadors, parents, supporters, and my fellow board members for their commitment, passion, and dedication to Bedford. We're off to a great start in the new financial year, and I look forward to the continuing momentum. Thank you.
So as Richard mentioned in his video, Bedford is investing in our future with our 5-year strategic plan. The video that you're about to see now was recently released on Bedford's social media channels, but we'd love to take this opportunity to share it with those of you who haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Hello, Bedford family, friends and supporters. I hope you're well and staying healthy. It's a really exciting time here, and there's so much going on and so much to share and celebrate with you. I sent out communications to you in July that Bedford's board and my executive team recently signed off on the biggest investment in our history, $50 million over the next 5 years. Of course, we're really proud of our history at Bedford, but we also know, and our recent reviews prove, that the disability sector is demanding change for more contemporary and inclusive forms of employment and services. So what are we going to do? Well, in the first instance, as many of you know, we are investing in new sites, new services, and new opportunities for anyone who is at Bedford or wants to join us or even do business with us. But perhaps most importantly, we will create pathways and training programs for new and existing clients. This will be called Bedford Social Enterprises, and we will open our doors to people with disability and the broader public so everyone can earn award wages. You might be wondering if the new operations will require new sites. The short answer is yes. For some of the work, Bedford Social Enterprises will consist of multiple businesses operating in fully competitive markets, so we might need a purpose-built site with specialized equipment to make products. While some of the other work might, for example, landscaping or hospitality, might be better placed on an existing site. We're really opening the door to new industries and taking a forensic look at gaps in South Australia's markets. We're already in talks to produce a new line of innovative furniture. Building on the success of Enzo's Muffins, we're opening our Brooklyn Park contract kitchen site by the end of the year to produce other gourmet food. And we'll even explore new partnerships across the retail industry and other areas of production and processing markets from paddock to plate. Bedford Social Enterprises, we imagine up to 30% of employees will be for people with disability, but they won't receive the same type of NDIS funding because it's employment for those who don't need as much support and can work side by side with people of all ability. Understanding the new service offerings takes careful planning. So Bedford will establish an advisory service, which includes access to job and life coaches, vocational training, retirement planning, and many new supports not currently offered. Our new advisory services will also work with South Australian employers to provide support in how to employ people with disability in the open market. For SA employers who choose to employ people with disability, Bedford will have job coaches to assist. Now, we know this new model isn't for everyone, so can I assure you that for our existing clients who don't want to transition to open employment, everyone will have a choice. Those who prefer supported employment will still have access to trained supervision, support, and flexibility in their work and social arrangements to suit their needs. Individual choice and control remain at the center of their future. What other changes will Bedford make to meet the needs of our community and secure our future? To give you more of a snapshot into the future, the $50 million investment includes creating an advanced manufacturing hub in Adelaide's north at one of SA's largest greenfield sites, plus other new fit-for-purpose sites in Adelaide's south and the hills, and expanding into the western suburbs with a new commercial site specializing in contract kitchens and a new day option site for social and skills development. Thirdly, renovating and redeveloping existing sites such as Ballyana and our head office at Panorama. Selling surplus land and existing commercial sites that are no longer fit for purpose, allowing Bedford to invest from the sales into new modern facilities and exiting facilities that are no longer fit for purpose. This investment is about offering unprecedented opportunity and support for people with disability to live the life they choose. Now that we've started communicating these exciting new changes with you, our next step is to get your feedback as we commence the journey and share our plans within the government, the disability sector, and the wider Bedford community. Feel free to shoot an email to future@bedfordgroup.com.au with any questions or comments you may have, or contact myself or one of the managers from Senior Leadership Group. Thanks everyone, and I look forward to updating you soon.
So I'd now like to invite Richard and Myron up to answer any questions you may have. If you do want to ask a question, can I ask that you raise your hand so we can get the microphone to you? This is important for those of us who are joining us online or will be watching afterwards so that they can hear the question that was asked.
You go. Any questions from the floor? Thanks, Taryn. Any questions from the floor? Any questions online? Nope. Well, that was easy. That's the easiest questions I've ever had to answer. Thank you very much. Right. I'll keep moving. Right. So, look, firstly, thanks for everyone who have attended today. No, I think stay up, Myron. Look, I have one task. It's quite an it's quite an emotional task. I can't look at Greg. Greg, I did mention Greg Connor in my video. He has been with Bedford for 15 years. 15 years is a very long time on the board, and he's done a wonderful job. He has been involved in numerous committees. I mentioned some on the video, but he's been involved in investment committee, strategic service development, including as chair, NDIS working group, including as chair, corporate governance, remuneration, culture, remuneration, and nominations. That's all one committee. And he's often chaired that. And audit and risk management committee, and he's chaired that as well. And on top of this, he's been the deputy chair since from 2015 to 2021. Greg has been a passionate supporter of Bedford, and he's been an absolute rock for Bedford for 15 years. He often says, I'm going to steal his line, he often says that we stand here today on the shoulders of giants. And I do want to say that Greg has truly been one of those giants, and I say that very sincerely. And he leaves a wonderful legacy for Bedford. We sincerely thank him for all he has done, and we would like to acknowledge him now with a token of our appreciation. Please clap your hands for Greg Connor. Thank you. I'm here. I think we're over here. We've got to come here. Well done, mate.
Thanks, Richard.
No, it's good.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Myron. Thank you very much.
G'day, mate. You can open after.
All right.
You can say a few words if you like. Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody. I haven't prepared. Normally I'm a lot more prepared for things like this. And if Richard starts to tear up, I might too. I was blessed that my very first boss, when I had to wear a shirt and collar, was a guy called Jim Bell at John Martin's. And he eventually came here as CEO. And so I became inextricably linked with Bedford back in the Jim Bell days. And some of you might remember them. Time's up. Anyway, thank you. I do appreciate that. One of my things as I was going through my career was I always wanted to be part of Bedford and get on the board. In fact, I always thought I'd want to be the CEO here at one stage, but Myron beat me to it. And I got that opportunity, and it's been a terrific 15 years. And Richard, you bugger, you stole my line. I think we've all, sitting around here, stood on the shoulders of giants, and to be compared with them, I am truly honoured. This is not about the board and about management, it's about the people who work here. And I always have said, that if you ever want to get somebody to be part of the Bedford group, to donate money, you just got to bloody walk around Panorama. And it is a seductive, dangerous thing, because then you see the good and the people that are here, and it just makes your day so much better. So I thank you all for making my day for 15 years so much better. I'll tell a quick story. We had a fellow who came to Bedford and donated $125,000. And we took him for a walk around this site again, and we sat down and had sandwiches in the boardroom, and he pulled out his pocket and gave us another cheque for $125,000. That's the impact that you guys have on the rest of the world, and that's just such a positive thing. So I thank you for your kind words. I leave with a lot of sadness, but also quite jealous that this is just a wonderful time to be part of Bedford. The way that we've gone through the COVID and a whole lot of things, and we're about to embark on what's probably the most significant change that I've ever seen in this environment, and it's all about the people, and that's what it should be. So thanks again, and you won't not see me around, because this is part of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you. I should explain that part of the emotion for me is, well, he's such a beautiful person, Greg. We've been together on the board for 14 years. So, yeah, I'm the last one standing. What's going on, Greg? I just wanted to finish by letting you know we are recruiting new board members. We haven't announced anything today because we're still going through a process. We are recruiting new board members and committee members. We have advertised for those roles, and we've had an incredible reaction to that, and we'll keep everyone up to date with what's happening there. So again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone on the screens. Thank you to everyone in all the other sites. We greatly appreciate you all, and I'm going to hand over to Taryn. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. So thank you all for joining us today, and for your time coming out here and for joining us online. It's an exciting time at Bedford. We're all very excited about what's happening, and we're glad that you're joining us for it. I now have the pleasure of inviting you at Panorama to join us for some refreshments provided by our wonderful hospitality team, who are part of the crew that put the smile on my face every day. And to those of you who joined online or who are watching afterwards, thanks for participating, and we look forward to catching up with you soon. Thank you.